Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the swearing-in ceremony of Clarkstown's elected officials, and also to the reorganization ceremony for our elected officials of the town of Clarkstown. Because of the restrictions of COVID, we are not only welcoming those who are here tonight in person, but also those who are viewing us virtually. At this time, as the Clarkstown Police Chaplain, I'll serve as your Master of Ceremonies, and I'm going to ask that we kindly all rise as the Clarkstown Police Honor Guard now presents the colors.
Stand by. Colors. Like this. Colors. Forward. Forward. Colors. Outward. March. Colors. Mark time. Ready? March.
Let us all join in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Colors. Freeze, right? March.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Colors. Forward. March.
We will now have the retiring of the colors.
Colors. Right. Hey.
Please remain standing for the invocation. Our invocation tonight will be delivered by Pastor Ed Funstein, representing the Redeeming Love Christian Center, Nanuet, New York.
Father God, we thank you this evening for this assembly, and we approach you reverently. And your word says that we are to first of all, therefore, give thanks, and we're to offer up prayers and supplications and giving of thanks for all men and for those kings and those who are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty. For this is good and acceptable in the will of God our Savior, who would have all men to be saved and come into the knowledge of the truth. So we thank you, and we lift up these representatives that are being sworn in this evening. And Father, we ask in the name of Jesus that you give them godly wisdom. You surround them and protect them and their families. And Father, we ask for prosperity and peace and safety in this county in which we live in the surrounding areas. And we ask all of this in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Kindly be seated. This evening, we are honored to have a number of distinguished guests with us, not only here in the auditorium, but those who are viewing this virtually, and we welcome you and we thank you so much, each and every one, for being here tonight. At this time, we're going to begin the oath of office. I'm going to ask Supervisor George Hoehmann to kindly step forward. Mr. Hoehmann will be joined by his wife, Kathy, who will be holding the Bible and the oath of office administered by retired Town Justice, the Honorable Craig Johns. Joining them and standing by their side will be their children.
Would you please place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and repeat after me? I state your name.
I, George Hoehmann,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, defend, and uphold
that I will support, defend, and uphold
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the New York Constitution,
the New York Constitution,
and the laws of the town of Clarkstown,
and the laws of the town of Clarkstown,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
my duties at the office of town supervisor
my duties at the office of town supervisor
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Supervisor for the Town of Clarkstown, the Honorable George Hoehmann.
Thank you very much, and just, I'm going to speak later, but just a few thank yous. First and foremost, I want to thank God for the honor of serving as supervisor these past 6 years and look forward to the next 2. I want to thank my family, my wife Kathy, my children Ashleen, Thomas, and Kira. Unfortunately, Thomas is working tonight and couldn't be here. I'm so grateful for your love and for your support. I couldn't do this job without you, and I thank you each and every day for all that you mean and all that you do for me. So thank you. I want to thank my running mates this past fall for their camaraderie and for their efforts. We had a lot of fun on the trail and a lot of success. To Mike, Don, Frank, Scott, Bob, and Lauren Marie, especially to our former town attorney, Leslie Kahn, who I'm really proud to have supported, who's now the first female elected judge to serve in the 230-year history of our town. So I also want to thank all those who endorsed my candidacy, from the PBA to the CSEA, the Building and Trades, Sam Fratto, Gil Heim, John Mariah, the operating engineers, Rockland County 1013, and so many others. Especially allow me to thank the party leaders. It's a real thankless job, and I see Lawrence Garvey here. I want to thank Lawrence and Joe Ryder for their support and for their friendship from the Rockland County GOP, as well as Sam and Dimitri Nemeth from the Conservative Party for their support and friendship as well. I also want to thank all of our many volunteers who helped me during our campaign and during our team, especially my campaign manager, Mike Carey, Carroll Curto, Janine Festa, Sam, Perry Kosker, Ed Dingman, Scott Waters, Doug Katz, Brian Hoehmann, Walter Goldman, as well as Howard Hellman as well for their support. From all the things that people did, from text messages to knocking on doors to making phone calls, it's kind of thankless volunteering to help political candidates, but I very much appreciate all the support from the parties and from all the volunteers. Next, to a few that are just not here. I'm thinking of several, especially my parents, who never had the opportunity to see me get elected either as a councilman or a supervisor these past 4 times. Thinking of them, but I'm also thinking of my dear friend Bob Zeiss, who passed away 7 years ago on Christmas, as well as a couple of other dear friends we lost this year. Jim Finn, who was a great senior citizen and big supporter, who died in the spring, and Jim Flynn, Mr. Nanuet, who was such a big part of our campaign and such a big part of our town and our movement here. So I didn't want this night to pass without remembering them. Finally, allow me to thank again the people of Clarkstown for their overwhelming support in electing me with 70% of the vote this past November. It's a tremendous honor to serve as the supervisor of the town where I grew up. I'm humbled by the support of the people, and I promise to work every day these next 2 years to represent you as best as I possibly can. Thank you for your support. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Hoehmann. I now ask Town Justice Scott Ugell to kindly step forward. The oath of office will be administered by Town Justice David Asher as Judge Ugell's wife, Evelyn, holds the Bible. Joining them in the front will be their children and grandchildren.
Actually, the grandchildren couldn't make it for COVID, I'm sorry about that.
Repeat after me. I, Scott Ugell,
I, Scott Ugell,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Town Code of the Town of Clarkstown,
the Town Code of the Town of Clarkstown,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Town Justice
of the office of Town Justice
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Scott Ugell.
Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. I really appreciate you all being here. Just a couple of quick words. I want to thank all of you who voted for me and helped me achieve this ninth term. Obviously, I want to thank the Republican Party. It's the party I'm affiliated with, I'm very proud of. Also want to thank the Conservative Party and the Working Families Party for also endorsing me. This is the beginning of what will be now my, I guess, 31st year. It's been a tremendous and exciting opportunity to serve the town. I've really enjoyed it. I really enjoy helping people. And I look forward to my next term. And I want to say that I look forward to being part of history tonight as we swear in my colleague, Leslie Kahn. I've gotten to know Leslie during the campaign. We spent a lot of time together greeting people and talking to people, and really proud for her and proud of her. Evelyn as well, because we spent some time together, and even Rebecca as well. So it's really more about Judge Kahn tonight than it is about me. But I want to thank you all so very much, and I look forward to seeing you and look forward to 4 years from tonight. Thank you very much, and God bless.
And now call upon Leslie Kahn and ask her to kindly join us here in the front. The oath of office will now be administered by retired Town Justice Craig Johns. Joining them in the front will be her husband, Paul, who will be holding the Bible along with their children.
I, Leslie Kahn,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support, uphold, and defend
to support, uphold, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the New York Constitution,
the New York Constitution,
and the laws of Clarkstown,
and the laws of Clarkstown,
and to faithfully discharge
and to faithfully discharge
the duties of town justice
the duties of Town Justice
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to present to you the newest town justice for the town of Clarkstown, the first female justice, the Honorable Leslie Kahn.
So thank you. I'm not nearly as prepared as the supervisor. So I'm really kind of at a loss of words. I'm so humbled and honored to have been elected to this position. It's a position that I've always dreamt of. And I can't say enough how thankful I am to the residents of Clarkstown for believing in me and supporting me and voting for me. And I want to first and foremost thank my husband and family for supporting me, and all my friends who were supporting me. I see a few of them here. I don't want to name them all because I'm afraid I'll leave somebody out. But thank you to the entire town board, Supervisor Hoehmann, who was instrumental in guiding me, Councilman Frank Borelli, also extremely helpful, as well as all the council people, and Highway Superintendent Robert Milone. I don't want to leave him out because they've all been my mentors and guided me and supported me, and I can't thank everybody enough. So again, I'm humbled and honored, and I look forward to doing the position of justice to the best of my ability. Thank you.
And now ask Councilman Frank Borelli, who represents Ward 1, to kindly step forward. Mr. Borelli will be joined by his wife, Melissa. Melissa will hold the Bible as the oath of office is administered by the Honorable Leslie Kahn, Town Justice, Town of Clarkstown. Your Honor? Who stole it this time?
You have yours right under the hat. Under your hat.
Please place your hand on the Bible, your left hand, and raise your right hand. I state your name,
I, Frank Borelli,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Town Code of the Town of Clarkstown,
and the Town Code of the Town of Clarkstown.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Town Councilman
of the office of Town Councilman
according to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
according to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, Councilman Frank Borelli.
Good evening. First and foremost, I want to thank my family, which is, again, we all talk about that, but it really is true. If you didn't have a family that would support you in this job, especially when you're running for office, you could never do it. And, you know, I saw how hard Leslie worked and her family and how all her boys and her husband Paul worked to get her here. So that it really comes true. Always, I have a campaign team. This time I was fortunate. It wasn't as hard. My candidate apparently moved out of the area before the campaign, so it was a little easier on me. But you still have to do everything you normally do. I had a great campaign manager in Doug Katz, and all my same friends and family and my running mates were all there for me as we were there for them. So I really appreciate their help as always. You can't run for office without a political party. I'm a registered Republican. I love the Republican Party and proud to be a Republican, especially today, if never before, right? But without the Republican Party, the help of our town chair, Joe Ryder, our county chair, Lawrence Garvey, you can't run for office. The committeemen that go out, they collect signatures, they help you put up signs. All those things are an integral part of the process. At times it seems difficult and you hate it, but it's what's necessary to win elected office. We had endorsements, and I'm very proud of the endorsements I get from the Rockland County PBA to all the labor units, especially my good friend Gil Heim, who's in the back, supported by his colleague Sam Frado with the IBEW. Again, without the labor unions who are out there, they get on the street and they help put out your mailers or your flyers, and I do really appreciate their help every time I run. And again, for a Republican to get labor support, a little unusual, so that's a nice thing. Well, but who did I leave out? The most important group, right? The voters, the residents of the town of Clarkstown. I'm very proud to work every day on their behalf. I always call them the taxpayer, because that's what they are. And I take that really very seriously. Every dollar that they put out in that tax bill, which, by the way, it's in the mail, I want to make sure that we are spending it wisely. And we do. Under the leadership of our supervisor and this town board, we've done, I think, the best job I've seen in any town in this area. Besides having, and I don't want to take away from George's speech, but he'll talk about it. I don't want to get into it. Besides, we're very well off financially. Let's leave it at that. And that's something we work towards, and that's why we got elected, and we're going to continue to work hard on your behalf to do that. Again, it's been my honor to serve the number of years I've been in office. I think it's 14 so far. And I'm looking forward to continuing as councilman and any other role that the town needs me in or the community. And I'm proud to be a member of this town board, and I look forward to serving you in the future. Thank you.
Representing Ward 2, I ask Councilman Michael Graziano to kindly step forward. Mr. Graziano will be sworn in by the Honorable Judge David Asher. Joining Mr. Graziano and holding the Bible will be his son, Rosario. His wife, Denise, and children will also join him here in the front. Oh, my God.
All right, left hand on the Bible, please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Michelangelo Graziano,
I, Michelangelo Graziano,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the United States of New York,
and the Town Code of the Town of Clarkstown,
Town Code of the Town of Clarkstown.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Town Council
of the office of Town Council
to the best of my abilities,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, Councilman Michael Graziano.
Tell you, it's hot in here. I don't know about you people, but I am hot. I want to welcome everybody here, and I wish everybody a Happy New Year. Hope it's going well for you. I'm glad you guys are here, really, everyone here. I truly, I am honored to be sworn into the office again today. I took this 2 years ago, and I can't believe I'm here again, and I take this as a great honor. I have a lot of people to thank for the trust of me to serve the community of Clarkstown, starting with the voters. There's many people out there that depend on us to make the right decisions, and without the voters, I would not be here, and I just want to thank them. And I have a great team behind me, and what that team consists of is my family. One's for my beautiful wife Denise, my son Rosario, Alexandra, Christina, and Francesca. Thank you for being here, for supporting me. But also I want to thank the party. I want to thank Joe Ryder. I also want to thank Lawrence Garvey. If it wasn't for their support, I wouldn't be here and having the party. Also I want to thank Gil Heim and the IBEW. There's never been a moment when I haven't called Gil for advice, and he's given it to me all the time. So I just want to say thank you, Gil. I also want to thank the Conservative Party. They supported me, and they've been a great team as well. But I'm going to make it short because it is kind of hot. I want to thank the Supervisor, George Hoehmann. He's a great supervisor for the town for Clarkstown. He's done a fantastic job. I look forward to working for him for the next 2 years, as well as all the other councilmen on his board. Collectively, I truly believe we work well, and we do everything the best for Clarkstown. So I just want to say thank you again. God bless you, and God bless America.
The oath of office will now be administered to Councilman Donald Franchino, representing Ward 3. Mr. Franchino will be joined by his sons Kevin and Matthew, who will hold the Bible as the oath of office is administered by Town Justice, the Honorable Leslie Kahn.
Please raise your right hand and put your left hand on the Bible. I state your name.
I, Donald Franchino,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Town Code of the Town of Clarkstown,
and the Town Code of the Town of Clarkstown,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Town Councilman
of the office of Town Councilman
according to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
according to the best of my ability, so help me God. Thank you, Ed.
Ladies and gentlemen, Councilman Donald Franchino.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it, and so does this entire town board. Leslie, thank you. We campaigned together in front of ShopRite in West Nyack and walking extensively. I am a walker, but I want to thank the voters in the town of Clarkstown for supporting me. again, reelected me to another 2 years. Great things are coming to Clarkstown. I want to thank the leaders of the Republican Party, Lawrence Garvey, Joe Ryder, for their guidance and support. They were a big help during this campaign. My campaign managers and advisors, my two sons, Matthew and Kevin, although they don't live in Clarkstown, I did erect signs where they do live, in Orangetown, and confused Mike Lawler. He didn't know that I was running just only in Clarkstown. But we made up to it with Teresa Kenny, who has an office in Clarkstown, and we erected a sign there. But I want to thank the unions for their support. It was an honor to receive this support and the hard work that we do in making Clarkstown one of the top 50 places to live in the country. And we are going to continue that program. We are attracting radiables. I don't know if Jeff Gillies is here tonight. He's worked very hard to attract radiables to this town, which is increasing our tax base each and every year, and will continue to do so. So I look forward to working with this entire town board. I got to say, I work hard my whole life, from when I started when I was 14, but nobody works harder than the man that sits in the supervisor seat. He astonishes me with his amount of running around, meetings, ceremonies that he goes to. I couldn't devote that kind of time, to what he does, and that's, I mean that sincerely, that he is a hard worker, and that's the leader of this town. So by example, we follow his leadership. So with that said, I can go on and on in speaking, but I will keep it short if I don't or do. But if I left anyone out, I apologize. Darryl Draper back there, Kennedy, we go back a long way outside of the town. But I want to thank you. I look forward to working very hard the next 2 years and accomplishing what we set out to do 4 years ago. So thank you very much. Have a good new year and a healthy new year. Thank you.
Now I call upon Councilman Patrick Carroll, representing Ward 4. Administering the oath of office will be Town Justice, the Honorable Judge David Asher, and the Reverend David Lothrop will hold the Bible for
Team David, stand
the Carroll.
I'm not going to say you're better looking than my wife, but thank you. All right, you're burning the big guns. Here we go. I, Patrick Carroll,
I, Patrick Carroll,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Town Code of the Town of
and
Clarkstown,
the Town Code of the Town of Clarkstown,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Town Council
of the office of Town Council
to the best of my abilities,
to the best of my abilities,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Councilman Patrick Carroll.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here today. As I joked with the Reverend before I stood here, my wife was to be here, but with 4 young kids, sorry, I forgot about one, 4 young kids at home, she elected to stay home with the surge of COVID going on in the town these days. But thank you. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank some folks, including my wife Natalie, my 4 daughters, Madeline, Lily, Paige, and Haley. Haley's a new addition since the last time we swore in. The last time we were here, I remember the twins causing a ruckus and interrupting the proceedings as they screamed and carried on, so they're missed tonight. But I also want to thank the members of my party, the Democratic Party. We have a strong group of committee folks who go out and get signatures and support us in every way. I see some of them, including Al, here today, and I thank you for your support that's never-ending. I'd be remiss further if I didn't thank the cross endorsements from the members of the Conservative Party, the Namaths, the Working Family Party, as well as my folks and friends in labor, building trades, the PBA, the CSEA, the IBEW, and the Clarkstown teachers. Finally, as Councilman Borelli hit the nail on the head, The people I'm most grateful for is the voters of Ward 4, who again have entrusted me to be their councilman for the next 2 years. We have a lot of work to do. We thought this pandemic was going to be over, and hopefully it soon will be, but we have a lot of work to adapt to it and work our town towards the future to ensure that all folks in this town can afford to live here and raise their families and grow and thrive with the services and community we have come accustomed to. So thank you again. I look forward to working with my members of the town board and the supervisor and the town officials and employees. Thank you all. And thank you, David. And thank you, Reverend.
And now I call upon Superintendent of Highways, Robert Milone. Mr. Milone will be joined by his wife, Lori, who will hold the Bible as the oath of office is administered by Town Justice, the Honorable Judge Leslie Kahn.
Please raise your hand. I state your name.
I, Robert Milone,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Town Code of the Town of Clarkstown,
and the Town Code of the Town of Clarkstown.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Town Highway Supervisor, Superintendent,
Not yet, no, I'm just kidding.
of the office
Of the office of the Highway Superintendent,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my abilities.
so help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, our Highway Superintendent and Supervisor of Highways, the Honorable Robert Malone. You got it straight.
All right, thank you, Chaplain, thank you. Thanks, everyone, for coming tonight. I always say they save the best for last. I want to congratulate and thank all the elected officials for their service to the town, my running mates that we ran this year with. I want to thank Leslie Kahn for accepting my request of swearing me in. It was very exciting for me. Thank you so much, Leslie. I want to thank the town board and the supervisor for the continued support for the department. Without their support, I couldn't be able to do the job that we're doing over there, and I think we're doing a great job. They've been supportive with the equipment and the pavement of roads and everything that we do over there. I want to thank the men and women of the highway department for all their hard work and their support also. I also want to thank my assistant, April Quinn, for her dedication to the town and to the department and myself. I also want to, who else I got? Oh, the party leaders, I can't forget them. The Republican Party leaders, Lawrence Garvey, Joe Ryder, Phil DeGaetano, also the Conservative Party of Sam Namath and Dimitri Namath, and also my good friend from Labor and personal friend Gil Heim for their continued support. I want to thank the residents of Clarkstown, for putting me in for another term. It's an honor to serve the residents of Clarkstown, and I'm looking forward to it. And I don't want to forget, of course, my wife, Lori. She's, she wrote it down. Like everyone here that runs for office, we know that the family is the most, important piece of the puzzle here of getting elected. Their continued support. It's very difficult to run for office, and again, without my wife's support and my daughters who couldn't be here due to COVID. So, again, thank them also. I just want to wish everyone a happy and healthy new year, and thank you so much.
This now concludes the swearing-in of our town officials. At this time, I'm going to call upon the Honorable George Hoehmann, Supervisor for the town of Clarkstown, for his remarks.
I want to thank the Reverend. He does this so effortlessly, and for all of our ceremonies. Let's give him a round of applause as well. And also from our religious leaders that are here, Pastor Ed, Pastor Carr, and we'll hear momentarily from Rabbi Carroll. We're very grateful for you being here and being part of the ceremony. and the Clarkstown Police Honor Guard. Let's thank them as well. Again, just allow me to welcome everybody to tonight's reorganization meeting for the town of Clarkstown. Whether you're here in Town Hall or like the hundreds that are participating from the comfort of your home, watching this on Facebook and by webinar, I want to thank and recognize all of my colleagues on the town board for their friendship, for their partnership, and working together. I also want to recognize all of those that are in attendance, and thank you all for being here. And thank the people for listening. We really wanted to kind of keep the attendance down, and we've got a good presence on Facebook and online tonight, but not a lot of people here, so it's really great to see that people are being safe. I also want to recognize and thank our Police Chief, Jeff Wanamaker, along with Captain Cummings. Thank you for your efforts for the people of the town. Our town justices as well, former Judge Johns, who's now our town attorney, flipping jobs with Leslie. So Leslie, our town justice, Scott as well, congratulations. And my good friend and our highway superintendent, Bob Milone, who I very much enjoy working with, who's really great highway superintendent, has done a great job. Let's thank and congratulate them as well. I see a lot of staff here. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank all of our staff. We've got exceptional staff within the town of Clarkstown, and I'm so grateful for all of your efforts. I see a number of folks here, from our fire inspector to the head of our CSEA and a number of other folks, town employees, and many that are watching, many of our department heads. I asked them not to come tonight and to watch it remotely, so I want to thank all of our department heads. I see some that are here, but a number that listened, so let's thank all of our staff as well for all their efforts. So as we gather here tonight, marking a new year, I can't help but start with noting how the way that we think, talk, and even measure time has often been molded by this pandemic. We categorize events as pre or post-COVID, and please God, it'll be post-COVID soon. We slip in and out of COVID being more or less a factor in our lives, depending on what state the virus seems to be in. We all ask, is it over now? Okay, when will it be over? We seem to think in these terms time and time and time again. At the same point last year, we were all hopeful that we were approaching the end of the pandemic as vaccines began to be widely administered here and throughout the world. Clarkstown, much like everywhere else, finds itself continuing to reshuffle, reorganize, readjust, reevaluate, and readapt on how things are ever shifting with the challenges that the COVID pandemic brings and provides to us on a daily basis. You know, I've been personally grateful for the efforts of the others in government, the support of this town board, working closely with me, with the other town supervisors as we tried to address this crisis along with the help of our staff. It's not a challenge that any of us asked for or ever expected to persist for this long, but I believe Clarkstown has met it well, and will continue to meet the challenge going forward to safely provide services for all of our residents. In fact, we're doing more than just meeting challenges. We've been continuing to accomplish a number of goals that we established over 6 years ago that not only meet the needs of residents today, but continues to build a future for Clarkstown that ensures prosperity and taps into potential for even greater vibrancy as we maintain its success for years to come. You know, Clarkstown, as I often say at the very many ribbon cuttings that we undertake for literally the hundreds of businesses that have relocated or built their business here since I've been supervisor, as I like to say during those, we're the economic engine and hub of Rockland County. Over 60% of the commercial ratables of Rockland are right here in the town of Clarkstown. And that's really something that's super important and something that we've really put a focus on. And in order to make sure that our business community is going to thrive, we had to really take a look at town government. Take our town finances, for example. When I took office in 2016, I knew that we had inherited an imbalanced budget to deal with in the short term. What I learned as I went along was how much it had really saddled us with long-term structural deficiencies driven by high labor costs, a decent amount of bloat, and an approach to governance that sometimes fell comfortably back on doing things, quote, the way that they'd always been done. It really was one heck of a knot to untie. Now, as I enter my 7th year as town supervisor, I can confidently say that we've completely turned a lot of things around. For the 3rd year in a row, the town's general fund will see a surplus. That hasn't been done in 20 years. Let me repeat that. For the third year in a row, we've balanced our budget and we have a surplus. It hasn't happened since 2001, and 2002. And that's due to the efforts of this board working with my administration. When you manage finances well, it opens a lot of doors. Since 2016, we've successfully secured almost $20 million in grant funds, enabling us to pare down our long-term costs associated with borrowing for our infrastructure projects. And when we do borrow, we borrow at a significantly lower cost because of our ever-improving bond rating. We just received an upgrade right after the election. We remain the best bond rating municipality in all of Rockland County and the second highest in the Hudson Valley. Responsible fiscal management is hard work, but it pays dividends that you do more than look good on a balance sheet. You can actually see how it makes our community better. There are many projects that we've completed over the years that have been supervisor, including renovations to street school, all 3 of our pools, the acquisition of important open space, RCDS, the Malankara Church property, the Grace Baptist Church, just to name a few. Since I've been supervisor, we've also paved over half of the roads in the town of Clarkstown. Over half. We were on a 30-year paving program before our administration took over. We're now on a 12-year program. Over half of our roads have been paved. And I want to thank our highway superintendent for working so hard with his team to keep us on that path. And right now, we're making significant strides in West Nyack, especially with the work that's being done at the Klein Avenue levee. With the record rainfall and the storm that took place during the fall, Klein Avenue didn't flood. We had the highest recorded rain, the highest floodwaters ever recorded in West Nyack and the Hackensack River, and Klein Avenue didn't flood because of the levee project that was underway. We're making significant improvements into the downtown area in West Nyack, with Phase 1 revitalization underway and Phase 2 expected to start by the end of this year. And we're all excited about the town's pickleball complex and additional projects like the Parrott Road expansion that will fix a problem that's existed since I was a kid. When you have the ability to do more to enhance your parks, your roads, and your community assets while completing projects that solve long-standing problems like flooding, we're also blessed to conserve open space and provide a fertile environment for economic development. In the past 2 years, our local economy hasn't just survived through COVID. We've been very nimble and skillfully found a way for businesses to thrive right here in Clarkstown. Even more, we've been able to attract a slew of new businesses across the retail, healthcare, and logistics sectors. We have a very busy planning board with a lot of projects that are coming forward with a lot of new ratables. With a revitalized West Nyack, Nanuet's continued path toward TOD, development, and all of our business corridors buzzing with activity, I know that Clarkstown will be the economic engine that it is and will continue to be for Rockland County, if not for the entire region. The essential ingredient to Clarkstown's success remains that which has sustained us for generations, the people of the town of Clarkstown. It isn't just a nice, flowery thing for me to say during a speech like this. I've seen it nearly every day for these past 6 years. I've seen it in our brave first responders as they bravely answer the call for those in danger and distress. Just tonight, during this swearing in with the new city fire department going out on a call. I've seen it in the eyes of veterans listening to our children singing at some of our events to God Bless America. I've seen it at formal ceremonies like this one. And in those small moments when you're at a local restaurant or shop or during my teletown hall calls or the dozens of coffees with the supervisor that we've hosted through these past 6 years. It continues to be an honor of a lifetime to not just work for you, but to really get to meet and to know many of you here within the town of Clarkstown. I thank you once again for extending that honor to me for another term. There are so many more accomplishments to highlight and exciting plans that I'd love to describe in greater detail with everyone. I plan to do so at a later time at our State of the State, hopefully soon, when we can gather together more safely in person. Until then, I ask everybody to please be safe and healthy and enjoy the new year. God bless you, God bless the United States of America, and God bless our wonderful and beloved hometown, Clarkstown. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Hoehmann. I'm going to ask that we kindly all rise for the benediction, which will be delivered tonight by Rabbi Paul Kerlin, representing Congregation Sher Shalom.
Sovereign of all creation, source of life, author of liberty, you of many names, whom we all imagine with yearning hearts, we invoke your blessings upon our beloved Clarkstown, for its leaders and advisors, and for all who exercise just and rightful authority within our community. We gather today to ask each of us in our own way for your help in all of our tasks, to meet the challenges ahead, to secure the blessings of liberty for us and our posterity. Inspire those who lead and serve to administer and conduct all their affairs faithfully and with devotion to justice. May your Spirit fill all of our hearts and our heads to seek the common ground, the common good, the common goal. Give us the courage to do what is both right and good. Give us the confidence to be bold in preserving our traditions of yesterday and ensuring our dreams and promises of tomorrow. Give us the compassion for all and for each other. And give us the discernment to know the difference between cleverness and wisdom, power and leadership, and what we should do because we can versus what we do because we should. But most of all, make those in power grateful for the opportunity to serve the people of Clarkstown. May that sense of gratitude pervade all that they undertake, so that every act is infused with the trust they have been given and the trust they have accepted, to preserve the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we praise you, O Holy One, who has given divine potential to mere flesh and blood, and to this we say, Amen. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shall we all be seated? I now turn this meeting over to Supervisor Hoehmann and the Town Board, and I now call upon Deputy Town Clerk Joanne Castaldo to kindly call the roll.
Supervisor Milone?
Here.
Councilman Borelli?
Present.
Councilman Carroll?
Here.
Councilman Graziano?
Present.
Councilman Graziano?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you, and I do want to note for the record, thank you, Joey, for filling in. You do such a great job as our deputy town clerk. Justin Sweet, regrettably could not be here tonight. He's enjoying much-needed vacation time with his family. So I know he's here in spirit, and we want to wish Justin well over these next 2 years as well. So this is a ceremonial meeting, so we don't take public comment. The resolutions that are on the agenda, that have been posted on the agenda since the weekend, are basically standard resolutions. Just run through quickly to let people know what they are. Accepting the town board minutes is standard. We have the salary schedule that was approved in the budget. This is item number 2. Then we have a number of standard things, authorizing Justin Sweet as our marriage officer, authorizing Justin